Okay, this is actually the second time I'm recording this Mishna Yomis because I recorded it the first time and I forgot to turn on the camera, which is very rare. We are sponsored by the Fisher family, the Nishnas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom Ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, then Neshama Shadav and Aliyah. We're also sponsored for the schus of Avram and Yom Ben Ish Ben Malki Yehudis and family. We're sponsored by the old Kugman and family for the Parnasik Zun Tenachas, Lefu Shleima for Meir Ben Chayesara, and for Aryalei Ben Rivka. They should have a Refuah Shleima B'Sech Shachar Yisrael. We're holding in the 7th parak of Gittin with Mishna Gimel. If a person says Zegitech imati, here's your get if I die, or Zegitech imati mechalizeh, here's your get if I die from this sickness, or Zegitech la'achamis, or here's your get after death, because there's no get after death. Me'ayom imati, if he says from today if he dies, so he's doing it retroactive, me'achshav imati, from now if I die, then how is I get? And that's a good get, because of course it's retroactive from the time that he said it when he was alive. If he says an ambiguity, me'ayom ula'achamisa, from today and after I die. So it could mean that it should be retroactive from today if he dies, like the previous, and then of course that's a good get, but also it could mean from today and then he changes his mind. No, after I die. And then of course it's not a good get because then get achamisa. So the din is it's a suffix, and therefore if he dies, get ve'ena get. It's a suffix get, and therefore we have to take both chumras. So if he dies, so we have to be concerned that it wasn't a good get, because he changed his mind, and then she does fall liyibam. So im meis chaletzes, she has to do the chalitza. However, since it might have been a good get, and then she would be an eshes ach shaloi b'mekayim mitzvah, so then v'loi misyabemes, she doesn't do yibam. If he says zegitech ma'ayom imati mechalizeh, he's lying in bed with a sickness, and he says, here's your get from today if he dies from this sickness. And then Baruch Hashem va'amad v'halach b'shuk, he gets up and he walks in the marketplace. And then v'chala b'meis, then he fell sick again and he died. So it depends. If it was a relapse from the first sickness, we evaluated. If it was a relapse from the first sickness, so then the condition was fulfilled that he died from this sickness, then he's divorced. How is that get? But if they evaluate that, no, this is a new sickness, so the condition wasn't fulfilled, that he died from the original sickness, then ain't a get. Then it's not a good get. Now, if he says, here's a get from today if he dies, so lo tisyachid imay ela b'fnei edom. She's not allowed to be alone with him. She's not allowed to be alone with him after he gives her that conditional get, because at any time he might die, and then of course it would turn out that she wasn't married to him. So she's not allowed to be alone with him ela b'fnei edom unless she's with somebody. Even though it says Edom, it means even with one person, and afilu eved, even a servant, afilu shifcha, even a maid servant, because she's not allowed to be alone with him because maybe he'll die, and then it would turn out that they weren't married. Chutz mishivchasa, but her own mistress, her own shifcha, is not enough because she's bold with her and she won't be afraid of her, and therefore she might be intimate with her husband, because she's bold with her shifcha and she's not afraid that she'll say anything. Now, what is she during those days? In other words, what would happen if she commits adultery? So Rabbi Yehuda says that in such a case, the get is chal a moment before he dies. And therefore, during that time, she's like a married woman. And since he didn't die a moment later, she's a married woman, and therefore if there were witnesses and asra to the adultery, they would get executed, and if it was done unwittingly, they would have to bring a chatas. So Rabbi Yehuda Mekeish Ishul Chol Dvareh. Rabbi Yossi disagrees. Rabbi Yossi holds that it has to be at the moment where they commit the adultery that she's definitely a married woman. And since he might die the next minute, she's not definitely a married woman, and therefore we would not be able to execute. Rabbi Yossi Amar Megureshes, Vein Megureshes. She was a state of a suffix whether she was divorced or not. And therefore, since at that moment she's not certainly an Eishes Ish when they did the Aveira, they wouldn't be executed, and if it would be b'shoigeg, there wouldn't be a chattis, but each one would bring instead an ashim tali. I want to thank you very much for joining me. Remember, tonight we have the Daf Yomi at 5 to 9. You get in with a passcode 914408 after going to zoomdaf.com, and there will be a chok later on this evening as well. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful day.